Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. Today what we're going to be doing is just reassembling the brakes for the Valkyrie, and then what I might do is I'll probably start putting the carbs back on just to try to test them to see do I need to order anything else. But here's one I prepared earlier, so just to show you, we got some nice double H pads in there and everything looking nice, clean and spick and span. So reassembled. So yeah, what I want to do is move the camera over closer to the workbench, which is a state. I really need to clean it up after, especially after the carbs. And yeah, then we'll get moving on putting that other caliper back together. So if you followed along with the video taking it apart, now you'll get to see how to put them back together. So stick around, I suppose. Yeah, why not? Stick around, enjoy. I'm losing my mind. Okie dokie. So first and foremost, we already have this piece of the caliper, which is the main chunk, cleaned and ready, all internally. If you saw one of the last videos, you'd have seen that. Next, what we're going to do is prep the rest of it. So we have to pull this rubber guy out here, which just literally pops out. Those are our two old ones. And then we're also going to pull this one through here. And what those are is essentially, when we put this back together, that's going to sit together like that. So that's for those pins to sit into. So we need to clean that up, and we also need to clean this up, which helps retain the pads. We have brand new pads right here. They are FA142HH, and these are the ones for the Valkyrie. If you also want to do a Valkyrie caliper rebuild like this one. But for now, what I'm going to do is basically clamp onto this real lightly, and I'm going to turn the camera off and clean all this with my trusty Dremel. I already pretty much cleaned this one up. I hit it with the Dremel for a while, but I'm just going to polish it out as much as is possible, and then we can reassemble. Okay, so reassembly time, pretty straightforward. First and foremost, what I'm going to do is locate all of my rubber guys. So all I'm going to do is put a little bit of red rubber grease just onto the ledge, basically. The edge, ledge, whatever. Just kind of all around this guy here. So this one is going to sit into this blind hole right here. 1 second, now you aimed badly. So this blind hole right here. Now the easiest way to get this in is I usually just push in one side, like that, hold it down with my finger, get a screwdriver and squash in the rest until it kind of finds its own way home. It's very difficult to show you this, so I'm kind of more describing it, but like that. So literally push in one side. It's gonna be, try to show you here. No, focus on this please. There we go. So push in the one side and then just pop the rest around in, and I'll just grab the old one. Here is the old one, and that's the ridge right there that you want to get into that blind hole section. So that's that one done. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Then what we're going to do is push through this one into this hole here, essentially. We're also going to lube this up, and what I would recommend doing is I get my old brake pad pin, which I actually forgot to Dremel up, and I basically just lube this up a little bit with some red rubber grease, or anything, to be honest. It doesn't need to be just red rubber grease. I will slip that onto the pin and then just push it through. You don't want to use something sharp to push this through for obvious reasons, because you could puncture it and damage it, and it's a dust cover. But when you use this guy, because it's obviously a blunt object, it just pops that right through, and then it's good to go. So that's what it should look like. So next what we want to do is get our actual brake fluid seals, these thicker seals. So just to show you, we have dust seals. Why is this light so bad? So this is our actual brake fluid seal, the big thick guy. And then this is the dust seal. The dust seal, you'll see, has a little groove in it. A little groove should face inwards. So when we pop these in, you literally just want to get it in your hand. Again, get it down into, so just to try show you, it's gonna be hard. So that lower ring in there that you can kind of see, that's where our main seal is going, our actual brake fluid seal. And what I've always found helpful is I literally just push it in, get it located into the actual lower piece, then hold that piece in place with my finger and just work the rest down. Because it wants to sit into that groove, right? It's actually too big to fit in there otherwise. So when it's in there, what it should look like is, it's gonna be really hard to show you, but that black seal right there, that is the actual seal in place now. Anyway, I really do need a camera person, but then with the dust seal, same thing. The dust seal just pops in up the very top into that second one. Dust seal, a lot easier to seat, and that's the dust seal seated. Maybe this will be better. Yeah, there you go. So that is the two seals there. As you can see, that little groove facing outward on the dust seal, and then the lower seal just sitting in pretty into these two grooves. So that's what we are aiming to do on the next one as well. And there we have it. All the seals are in. So now what you want to do, and by the way, these are the new brake pistons, which are beautiful. This came from a company called Brake Crafters. I bought the rebuild set. I think it was like $100 and something for everything, which I mean, it was a pretty good deal. The original pistons are not stainless, also they're just coated. So these ones do work a lot better. Now, I just get a little bit of red rubber grease, like a small bit, and I coat all of my seals with said grease. The reason you want to do this is you don't want to kind of pinch any of the seals when you're pushing in your new pistons. And obviously the pistons are completely dry, there's no brake fluid in here, you just cleaned everything. So whether you could use brake fluid here. I've always used red rubber grease on these seals. Always, every time I've rebuilt them, I've used red rubber grease. I just think it works well. And then once you have your seals in, because obviously these pistons are exactly the same size on both, you just push them in. You want to try to get it pushed in as straight as possible. Again, just helps with the actual seal. And there you go. So that's that one sliding in. We can see it now. As you can see right there, that's our nice piston in there. You don't need to push it all the way in. I generally just push them to about there. You can always move it back more later if you need to, but you won't need to. And then same thing with the second one. And voila! So now here is the little brake pad retainer thing that we cleaned off earlier. And that clips on right there, like that. And then we're gonna have to pop these back on. So this again is another thing, I lube these pins. Plenty of grease on these guys. No such thing as too much. For these, they live a hard life, you know. So I'll grease that one up. The only thing you want to make sure you do is actually when you pop these back together, and this just pushes back together. So that one goes in there, and then this one goes in here. And that's it. That's your brake pad retainer pushed back in. And that will actually capture the brake pads in a second, I'll show you. Like I said though, you want to just wipe off any of the excess grease that did come out of the boot, because obviously you don't want that getting on your brake pads accidentally. And the key thing with this is this should move really freely like that, which it does now. It didn't before, but that's all part of, you know, your brake maintenance. This all should work nice and, ow, just stabbed myself, smooth. So next, these guys are going to sit in like this. You want to push them through into this retainer guy up here. I'll show you that in a second. I'm actually just going to pause this video so I can clean this because I forgot to. And basically, I'll clean it with the Dremel and then a really fine grit sandpaper. This is actually 2000 all over that pin, because your pads are going to be sliding on this, so you want it good and clean. It feels a lot better. And then once you are kind of sat into your groove, you want to slide that pin home, push down on your actual brake pads a little bit so it can get through there. So that is a size 5 for your retention pin. And your pin just slides across. You want to bolt that all the way in. And that is that. Rebuilt caliper. Essentially what you should end up is something looking like this pretty much. Nice and greased up, everything clean, brand new pistons. And then last but not least, we do want to put in our new brake bleeder. So this might sound simple, but when you're putting this on, you want to make sure you put this facing up, because if you don't put your little cover on facing up, then it won't be able to fold around and cover it off like that. So the new one I got is a size 8mm hex. The old one was a size 10, but the threads are the same, which is the main thing. So that just threads in there. And then for now, we're just going to nip it down. We obviously will have to bleed these when they go back on. And that is it. A completely rebuilt set of brake calipers for a Honda Valkyrie. That's new pistons, new brake seals, new bleeder screws, and we will also have new brake lines. Pretty straightforward. So, oh yeah, also wear safety glasses when you're using Dremel. If you've never used Dremels much, they like to throw crap everywhere. But that's it. These obviously aren't going back on yet because I do have to rebuild the forks first. But as it stands, we're making some progress, because you would have already seen that we have the carbs into a position that, I mean, they're close enough. I don't know, do they work yet? I'm going to actually try, maybe test that now. So if there's a clip at the end of this video with them working, then they worked, but we'll find out soon. But yeah, that's it. If you saw the first video, you saw how to take them apart, remove them from the bike, if you're following along, and then putting them back together. Very straightforward. I have lots of other videos in better lighting as well that you can probably check out if you want to on brake caliper rebuilds. I do need to get better lights for in here and figure out my lighting, because I do like working in here. It's just trying to make the lighting better is challenging. And yeah, if you watched, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions, please do leave them down in the comments. If you liked the video, do hit that like button. It means a lot to me and helps YouTube show this video to people and stuff. And yeah, let me know. As always, a very special thank you to all my patrons. I'm really looking forward to try first start this thing. Hopefully you all are too. And yeah, time will tell. Time will tell how it works out. But yeah, I do appreciate all support. So until next time, thank you again for watching. Adios. Outro crew. Those brakes were so easy to rebuild. It's just a pity I needed new pistons. I mean, I probably could have gotten away with 3 out of the 4. That fourth one really made up my mind for me. This horrific crime against brake pistons. What's the worst thing you've ever found on a used bike? as you were working on it? There's the outro crew question. So what did you find that you were like, why did you do this? No one did that, it just got corroded, but yeah, let me know what you found. Bye outro crew.